Have you ever found yourself in the company of someone whose mere presence seems to sap your energy, twist your emotions, or create disorder around them? Sadly, malevolence is not confined to legends or films. It is a reality. It surrounds us. Even more disconcerting, it frequently operates in subtle manners. However, there is no need for concern. With a bit of awareness, you can identify the warning signs and shield yourself. Malevolent individuals do not appear with horns or tails, but their behaviors expose their true character. They manipulate, ruin, and take advantage of your kindness for their benefit. The positive aspect? You don't need to be a sleuth to spot them. Ancient Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius have imparted enduring wisdom on how to recognize evil and protect yourself from it. In this video, I will reveal 10 clear indicators that you are encountering an evil person, signs that you cannot overlook. These insights will empower you to preserve your tranquility and protect your energy. So, let's delve in and discover how to navigate this world with clarity and assurance. Ready? Let's begin. Number 1. Persistent manipulation. Seneca once remarked, "He who has many fears also has many things to manipulate." This serves not only as a reminder, but also as a caution regarding the influence of manipulation wielded by malicious individuals.
These individuals do not thrive on integrity. Instead, they prosper by distorting reality, using lies as their most potent weapon. I recall a time when I collaborated with a colleague I initially trusted. He excelled at complimenting me in front of others, making me feel acknowledged and appreciated. However, behind the scenes, he began weaving subtle narratives, quietly sabotaging my work and exaggerating minor errors into significant problems for the management. When I sensed something was amiss and chose to confront him, he remained composed, claiming he was simply assisting me in improving. This made me question myself. Was I at fault? I began to doubt my own abilities. In reality, he was not helping me at all. He was driving me into a state of dependency, making me feel that I required his guidance to be adequate. This is the nature of manipulation. It not only disorients you, but it also undermines your confidence. Manipulators do not establish relationships based on trust and honesty. They take advantage of your vulnerabilities to gain control.
They skillfully exploit your doubts, persuading you that they are the only ones who truly understand you and can provide guidance. Stoic philosophy instructs us that the essential tools for resisting manipulation are clarity and self-discipline. A genuinely virtuous individual will always steer you towards independence and self-sufficiency, rather than ensnaring you in dependency. If someone in your life persistently encourages you to follow their direction while ignoring your boundaries or personal freedom, it is a clear indication that you should take a step back. Recall Epictetus's insight: no one is free who does not have mastery over themselves.
By choosing not to engage in their manipulation tactics, you take back control of your thoughts, actions, and decisions. Mental clarity and self-awareness serve as the antidotes to their harmful influence. There is no need to argue or justify yourself. Simply disengage from their manipulation and embrace your freedom. Secondly, consider the mask of charm. Epictetus once cautioned us that appearances, no matter how captivating, often conceal the underlying truth. Have you ever met someone whose charm appeared almost too perfect, as if it were scripted from a film? Their bright smile, comforting words, and knack for making you feel valued all seemed like a flawless act. However, when you step back and examine the situation more closely, you may discover that behind the mask lies a motive that is anything but sincere.
Sincerity in charm is truly remarkable. It forges connections, fosters trust, and nurtures significant relationships. However, in the hands of those with malicious intent, charm transforms into a lethal tool. They possess the ability to win your affection, disarm you with their meticulously chosen words, and portray themselves as the companion you've always desired, the ideal partner, or even a reliable guide. Yet their charm is superficial, resembling a shiny exterior that hides a harsh reality. Marcus Aurelius cautioned us that the soul is tinted by the hue of its thoughts. These individuals do not merely manipulate, they wield their charm to disguise their genuine character.
Selfishness, deceit, and manipulation. Notice their behavior when they think no one is observing. How do they treat those who provide them with no advantage? Words can be artfully embellished, but actions reveal the true essence of character. I once had a friend who possessed a remarkable talent for making everyone feel cherished. He inundated people with compliments, leading them to believe they were genuinely important to him. However, as time passed, I came to understand that he was not who he seemed. His flattery felt calculated, functioning as a means to gain something in return. And when there was nothing more to obtain, he swiftly withdrew, often speaking ill of those he had once praised. How can you liberate yourself from their allure? Do not dismiss the subtle signals from your intuition. If you feel captivated yet uncomfortable, trust that instinct.
These manipulative people depend on your readiness to ignore the warning signs, to accept the facade they have constructed. Stoic philosophy instructs us that the truth requires no disguise. True kindness radiates naturally, without any artifice. Therefore, move beyond the dazzling exterior and uncover the reality that lies underneath. Real goodness does not require a mask. Number 3. Lies without a moral compass. Marcus Aurelius once suggested that nothing should be undertaken if it is not right, and nothing should be expressed if it is not true. However, for genuinely malevolent individuals, truth is simply an impediment. They do not lie out of negligence, they lie because deception has become ingrained in their nature. Their falsehoods are not arbitrary, they are meticulously designed, whether to acquire power, avoid accountability, or alter your understanding of reality.
Envision a friend who habitually spins intricate stories to establish her credibility. Once, she persuaded you that she was solely responsible for overseeing a vital project, taking full credit for its success. However, upon further examination, every document and email you scrutinized told a different story. When confronted, rather than admitting her fault, she accused you of misinterpreting the circumstances, diverting attention to irrelevant details. This is the modus operandi of master manipulators. They instill doubt in your memory and judgment, gradually undermining your grasp on reality. Malevolent manipulators take advantage of your uncertainty, persuading you that they possess superior knowledge, thereby taking control of the narrative. Their fabrications require ongoing maintenance, with new layers of deception needed to conceal the previous ones. Yet, this is where their vulnerability lies. The truth is robust and needs no upkeep, while lies are delicate and perpetually at risk of collapsing.
To safeguard yourself, be vigilant about inconsistencies. Do their narratives change when under scrutiny? Are their behaviors consistent with their statements? Stoic philosophy advises us to concentrate on actions as they unveil a person's genuine character. When you notice contradictions between someone's words and deeds, Prioritize your observations over their assertions. Inquire further, insist on transparency, and most importantly, establish boundaries. Honesty is not only the cornerstone of relationships, but it also serves as a reflection of integrity. And when deceit continues, do not hesitate to walk away. Stoicism teaches us that true strength resides in self-mastery and distancing ourselves from what compromises our values and tranquility. Therefore, the next time you meet someone who lies without remorse, stand firm, focus on their actions, and protect yourself from their web of deception.
4. A deficiency in empathy. Seneca once noted that humans are inherently social beings, designed not to exist solely for their own benefit. Empathy serves as the connection that unites us, enabling us to partake in the joys and sorrows of others. However, for those who are truly malicious, other individuals are merely tools in their self-serving pursuits. They show no genuine concern for your happiness or suffering unless it serves their own interests. The absence of empathy is not merely a character flaw, it is a stark indication of a vacant soul. Picture this. You are sitting across from a friend, sharing your heart about a burden that has been troubling you. Instead of offering support, they redirect the conversation. "Oh, you think that's bad? Let me share my day with you," they respond, trivializing your vulnerability. This behavior is not a one-time occurrence. It is a recurring pattern. Such individuals are either unwilling or, worse, incapable of truly connecting with others.
The act of stepping beyond personal interests to engage with your experiences is crucial. Their detachment reveals itself through a chilling indifference or even a silent pleasure in your hardships, creating a gap where empathy ought to exist. Empathy is not merely an optional trait. It is the foundation of significant relationships. In its absence, interactions turn into mere transactions, becoming one-sided and emotionally exhausting. Malicious individuals exploit their lack of empathy to advance their own selfish agendas. They might pretend to show compassion when it suits them, but their indifference becomes clear as soon as their facade falters. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, stop debating what defines a good person. Simply be one. So how should you respond to such indifference? Establish clear boundaries.
Safeguard your tranquility and do not let their indifference undermine your value. Pursue connections founded on mutual respect and understanding, relationships that elevate rather than diminish. Surround yourself with individuals who rejoice in your happiness and support you in times of grief, as genuine connection is anchored in empathy, not manipulation. Before we proceed to the next point, if you are enjoying the video, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to the channel with notifications so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Additionally, if you appreciate this type of content as much as I do, feel free to comment, "I see the signs." Let's continue our learning journey. Moving on to number 5, the desire for control. For a malicious individual, control is not merely a tendency, it is their lifeline. They seek to dominate every aspect of their surroundings, from relationships and thoughts to even the minutest of your choices. Marcus Aurelius once stated that your mind is governed by you, not by outside circumstances. Once you come to this realization, you uncover your genuine strength. However, this very strength is what malicious people aim to take away from you, as they understand that mastering your mind is essential to dominating your entire life. I once knew an individual who seemed trustworthy at first. Initially, their advice appeared to be thoughtful and sincerely beneficial. Yet as time passed, a concerning pattern began to surface. They started to weave in subtle, undermining comments during our discussions, instilling doubt about my choices and making me feel as if I required their assistance to make the correct decisions.
At one point, while I was contemplating joining a significant project, they persuaded me that I lacked the ability, pushing me to allow them to take charge. At that moment, I acquiesced because they instilled in me a sense of distrust in my own judgment. Looking back, it became evident that they merely sought to maintain control over me, ensuring I would never surpass them. Individuals like this do not merely wish to sway your actions. They strive to dominate your thoughts and feelings. They employ guilt, shame, or flattering words to create a dependency on them. Their interest does not lie in your development. Their objective is to keep you within their reach. Gradually, you start to question yourself, your skills, and your value, resulting in a diminished sense of autonomy.
Epictetus wisely stated that true freedom is the only goal worth pursuing in life, and that such freedom is achieved by refusing to be governed by factors outside our control. Malicious people are well aware of this and will go to great lengths to confine your thoughts. However, you need not live under such constraints. You have the right to dismiss their manipulations. Reflect on whether their actions align with your values, and let that inquiry serve as a guide for your decisions. Your autonomy is your greatest strength, and it is not for anyone else to take away from you. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the nature of our thoughts shapes the happiness we experience in life. Do not allow anyone to dictate your reality or undermine your self-worth. Safeguard your mind. It is the foundation of genuine freedom. Those who truly care for you will never attempt to control you. Instead, they will encourage you to make your own choices and to develop in your unique way. Therefore, remain steadfast, assert your position, and allow your mind to lead you toward the freedom you rightfully deserve.
Number 6. Blame games and deflection. Seneca wisely noted that individuals often favor trust over judgment. This is exactly what manipulative people take advantage of. Rather than accepting responsibility, they create narratives that portray themselves as victims in every circumstance. By shifting blame and deflecting accountability, they not only escape repercussions, but also transfer the burden onto others with a disconcerting skill. As Seneca pointed out, the truth remains steadfast without the need for justification, whereas lies always necessitate intricate tales to uphold them. Picture interacting with someone who consistently avoids accountability. Whenever something goes awry, they refuse to acknowledge their errors and instead place the blame on you or external factors.
Once, I collaborated on a significant project with a close friend. As challenges arose, instead of acknowledging her mistakes, she quickly criticized my organizational methods, which left me doubting my own abilities. To make matters worse, her tone was subtly condescending, as if she were simply providing constructive criticism. After several occurrences, I came to the realization that I was being manipulated into taking the blame for every mistake. These types of individuals are skilled at creating narratives that twist the truth and obscure your perception. They exploit emotions, instilling guilt in you even when they are the ones at fault. They depend on your sensitivity and trust to fabricate a story where they are perpetually the victim while you unwittingly become the antagonist.
Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the truth is self-evident. When encountering such individuals, it is essential to uphold an objective viewpoint and avoid allowing emotions to influence your responses. Remain grounded in facts and do not shy away from questioning or disproving false assertions. When they attempt to shift responsibility, calmly yet assertively seek clarity. This method not only prevents you from becoming a victim of their blame tactics, but also strengthens your own integrity. To effectively deal with such individuals, set clear boundaries. Do not participate in the psychological games they create to evade accountability. Instead, remain steadfast in your truth, ensuring they cannot manipulate or alter reality. Integrity and accountability are defining traits of a robust character. When a person consistently avoids taking responsibility, their true character becomes apparent. Your responsibility is to safeguard your peace and avoid their manipulations. Number 7, the enjoyment of suffering. One of the most disturbing characteristics of a genuinely malicious person is the pleasure they gain from the suffering of others. Epictetus wisely suggested, surround yourself with those who elevate you. However, for these individuals, they have no interest in personal growth or support. They look for chances to belittle and take pleasure in the pain that surrounds them. Whether it is subtle or blatant, this toxic enjoyment is a clear indication that you should keep your distance.
This enjoyment of others' suffering often starts with minor, seemingly innocuous actions. It might manifest as a sarcastic comment, a derisive laugh at someone else's misfortune, or a grin of pleasure when observing another's failure. As time goes on, these actions disclose their genuine character. They do not aim to uplift themselves through diligence or merit, but rather by stepping on the backs of those they undermine. I once had a friend who took pleasure in recounting the blunders of others with an unusual zeal. One day she laughed when a colleague was publicly scolded in the workplace. Initially, I perceived it as simple apathy, but as time went by, the truth became evident. This was her method of feeling empowered. Rather than providing support or understanding, she amplified the difficulties of others to elevate her own status. Seneca once remarked, "No man is more miserable than one who avoids facing challenges." Yet, for such people, adversity serves not as a lesson, but as a means to an end. Their happiness does not stem from accomplishing anything significant, but rather from witnessing the failures of others. They engage in malicious gossip or inflict harm intentionally to bolster their self-esteem. At the core of this conduct lies profound insecurity. They require the suffering of others to enhance their own self-worth. But this momentary gratification merely conceals their deeper sense of emptiness.
To combat individuals of this nature, Stoic philosophy emphasizes the necessity of protecting your self-worth and selecting relationships that promote personal growth. Be aware of the indicators, their apathy, their pleasure in the suffering of others, or their obsession with failures to feel superior. Distance yourself from them, as every moment spent in their company is a moment that detracts from your peace and self-esteem. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who celebrate your progress instead of undermining it. These are the individuals who not only hold you in high regard, but also inspire you to become the best version of yourself. True happiness is never founded on the pain of others, but rather on collective achievements and authentic connections. Number 8. Isolation as a tool. Marcus Aurelius stated that humans are inherently social beings. Our power is rooted in togetherness, shared moments, and the support of those who love us. However, for those with malicious intent, this natural harmony is exactly what they seek to disrupt. One of their most effective tactics is isolation. By distancing you from family, friends, or support networks, they not only diminish your emotional resilience, but also render you more susceptible to control and manipulation. I once had a friend who appeared to be sincere and compassionate at first. As time passed, though, she began to make subtle disparaging remarks about the people I cared about.
"Your closest friend doesn't treat you with the respect you deserve," she'd assert with a serious demeanor, or "Your family fails to comprehend you as I do." Initially, I dismissed her comments, believing she was merely concerned for my well-being. However, as time went on, these statements became increasingly common, instilling doubt and creating distance between me and the relationships that had always provided me with the strongest support. Her method was soft, yet strategic, effectively separating me from those who were most important. This strategy is not by chance. It is a calculated psychological tactic employed by toxic people to instill insecurity and convince you that they are the only ones who genuinely care. The more you isolate yourself, the stronger their influence over you becomes. However, there is something they wish for you to overlook. Authentic strength is derived from connection, from meaningful and robust relationships. Unity serves as the bedrock of resilience. If you begin to feel lonely or disconnected from those you care about, take a moment to pause and reflect. Reassess the circumstances, trust your intuition, and don't hesitate to reach out to those who truly matter in your life. Engage with friends, family, and trusted confidants. They are the support system that keeps you anchored, even when life seems uncertain. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we are not designed to exist in solitude.
We belong to a broader community, and it is through genuine relationships that our true strength is derived. Therefore, do not allow anyone to persuade you otherwise. Safeguard your connections, and you will discover the power to overcome any form of manipulation. Number 9. Jealousy in disguise. Envy is a harmful emotion, but it becomes particularly perilous when it masquerades as concern or goodwill. Seneca once cautioned us that envy is the ulcer of the soul, and for those who nurture it, their counsel or attention is often not intended to elevate you, but rather to undermine your confidence. Such people cannot tolerate the joy or success of others. Disguised as seemingly supportive advice or compliments, they plant seeds of doubt regarding your value. I once had a friend who always appeared to be genuinely invested in my successes. After I finished a significant project that I was very proud of, she remarked, "That's great, but perhaps next time you should challenge yourself a bit more to truly achieve a higher standard." Initially, I perceived it as sincere advice, but upon further contemplation, her tone revealed an underlying message, a subtle jab. It wasn't meant to uplift me, but rather to belittle my achievements. What I initially interpreted as harmless feedback was in fact a tactic to make me feel inadequate. These insincere compliments are frequently accompanied by comments that undermine. A jealous individual won't confront you directly. Instead, they sow small seeds of doubt in your mind, causing you to question your abilities and accomplishment.
They may express sentiments such as, "You performed exceptionally well, but don't let it go to your head. There is always potential for growth," or "That's impressive, but I heard someone else achieve something similar and obtained even better outcomes." This conduct reflects neither concern nor kindness. It serves as a tactic to bring you down to their level. Those filled with envy cannot acknowledge your brilliance because it casts a light on their own insecurities. They do not wish to see you succeed. Rather, they desire to see you diminish so they feel less threatened. Stoic philosophy advises us to trust our instincts. If you feel something is amiss in someone's compliments or guidance, pay attention to that instinct. Investigate the underlying motives behind what may appear to be innocent remarks. A genuinely kind individual will uplift you, commend you sincerely, and motivate you to reach even greater heights. In contrast, a jealous individual wields their words as instruments to manipulate your feelings and undermine your self-esteem. To safeguard yourself, establish firm boundaries and refuse to allow anyone to belittle your value. Surround yourself with those who truly celebrate your achievements. Individuals who not only help you shine, but also encourage you to attain new heights. Remember, you don't have to dim your light to make others feel more at ease. Stand resolute in your worth and allow your light to shine brilliantly.
Number 10. The unrepentant heart. One of the most evident indicators of a malevolent person is an unrepentant heart. Marcus Aurelius advised that we should not squander time arguing about what constitutes a good person, but rather concentrate on taking steps to better ourselves. Conversely, wicked individuals frequently do the exact opposite.
They hold on to harmful behaviors, refuse to acknowledge their mistakes, and clearly have no desire to mend the harm they inflict. They exist in a state of denial, rationalizing their actions with complex justifications, creating the illusion that the issue never originates from them. Consider an individual you have encountered, someone who consistently had a reason for every error. When they caused pain to others, rather than offering an apology, they would attribute the blame to external factors or contend that others were equally at fault. Whenever someone attempted to clarify how their actions were damaging, they would evade responsibility, transfer blame, or even accuse the other party of being overly sensitive. However, what is most notable is their absolute unwillingness to change. For them, self-reflection and acknowledging mistakes are perceived as vulnerabilities, whereas obstinacy is regarded as a virtue. This perspective is in sharp contrast to Stoic philosophy. A Stoic recognizes that self-reflection, owning up to errors, and seeking to make amends are not indicators of weakness, but rather of bravery and self-worth. Individuals with unrepentant hearts not only inflict pain on others, but also forfeit the chance for personal development and maturity. If you find yourself close to someone who perpetually rationalizes their behavior, evades responsibility, and never attempts to mend the damage they have caused, take a moment to contemplate. Not everyone is open to growth or transformation.
Safeguard yourself against toxic relationships like these and channel your energy towards those who uplift you. Individuals who possess the bravery to face their own imperfections and work towards self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius advised us to concentrate our thoughts on individuals and ideas that enhance the quality of our lives. We have just explored 10 clear indicators that an untrustworthy person may be nearby. Disturbing, isn't it? However, keep in mind that awareness is your strongest defense. Malicious individuals can only exploit you when you are oblivious to their methods. Once you identify their tactics, you not only defend yourself but also protect your inner tranquility from their turmoil. Marcus Aurelius imparted the lesson that genuine strength is found in controlling your mind and your responses. Do not allow toxic people to invade your mental space or disturb your peace. Establish boundaries, remain resolute, and continue to shine, for your light is what they fear the most. If you found this video beneficial, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment "I see the signs" to signal to the world that you are prepared to protect yourself from negative influences. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where your wisdom will keep expanding.